morning, everyone. Welcome to Silver Solutions Radio, your show for living long and aging strong. We are bringing this show to you because we are passionate about helping people, especially seniors and the disabled. Hi, I'm Kathy Wetters, and I'm joined by my dynamic co-hosts, Jim Wojciechowski and Jeanette Palmer.
Good morning, everybody. We encourage you to call with any questions or comments for our guest during the show. You can reach us at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410.
Our show is brought to you by Right at Home. Your choice for senior care is broad, but when it comes to choosing the right care for a loved one, the choice is narrow. Right at Home. Our mission is to improve the quality of life for those we serve, and we fulfill that mission through the right people caring for your loved one. We fulfill that mission by providing the right people caring for your loved one, the right in-home services, and the right approach to ensure your peace of mind. Call us today at 877-ELDER-99. That's 877-353-3799.
Thank you, Jeanette. Okay, our guests today are Nanette Falcone and Dean Delaria from Friendship Senior Options. First, if you would, tell us both kind of how you got in this business, and then we'll kind of go into the topic of the facilities that you represent.
All right, well, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. I actually entered into the field of senior housing sort of completely by accident, which is the way the majority of people in our industry enter the field. Yep. I was actually in the corporate world, working for an industrial chemical company, and this goes back almost 30 years. At that point, I explored a different opportunity to become a director of fundraising and public relations for a community that was part of Catholic Charities out in North Lake.
Yes.
And that was for those serving and living in a senior living lifestyle or housing community. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I met someone who was the director of sales for the independent living side of things. Fast forward a couple years, we had still maintained our friendship. He became director of sales over at Friendship Village and said, you know, I think you'd make a really strong residency counselor or someone to work with older adults as they explore senior housing in our community. And sat and listened to him, and the rest is history. So here I am 18 years later, and love everything that I do, and just love working with older adults. And I think that's the passion you'll hear from most people that work in our field, is they have a passion for working with older adults, and that longevity will be there. If it's not, that means they probably didn't like it and they left the field pretty early on. So,
what a great acknowledgement to the person who saw that in you.
Yeah.
You know.
And thank you again for inviting us to come and talk about our communities. I actually got into it by meeting up with a former dance student. I was a dance teacher for over 30 years in the Geneva community, and I had met up with her, and she had invited me to come see the community that was not built yet. It was just pre-sales, and I went and visited and fell in love with everything that it was all about and working with the older adults, and I got a job opportunity, and that's going to be 9 years later. So I love it. Thank you.
Well, tell us about Friendship Senior Options.
Well, Friendship Senior Options is actually the umbrella corporation for both Friendship Village of Schaumburg and Greenfields of Geneva. Friendship Senior Options is founded on the premise of get set, meaning we want to be able to help older adults get set for the rest of their life. And just because we're aging doesn't mean that we have to stop doing things that we've always loved to do. It's an opportunity to still continue to foster that, but also an invitation to continue to try different things and new things that maybe we haven't had an opportunity to get involved with. So Friendship Village has been in existence for 40 years. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year.
That's big.
And Greenfields of Geneva just celebrated its 5th anniversary. So we're excited to have both communities here in the Chicagoland area, and really, living out the mission every day, which is to help older adults get set. Friendship Senior Options is a not-for-profit organization. And we both the communities operate under high levels of occupancy, which is really good for both the organizations and for Friendship Senior Options in total.
I live out at Mill Creek, so I've seen Greenfields go from the ground up, and opportunity to visit. And it's really impressed. So, what is the difference for those that may not quite pick up the difference between a for-profit and a not-for-profit community?
Well, a non-for-profit community is a mission-driven community, and they're not driven by a bottom line. A not-for-profit community means that you never have to leave if you run out of your monies. People are living longer now, and naturally, people run down their, pensions, their Social Securities kind of run out. Mm-hmm. So you are never asked to leave. We do have benevolent funding and grant writing to help you stay in the community that you originated in.
So that's a great peace of mind to the senior and their families to know they're going to move
By all means.
And have a floor there. Yeah. So I know there's different models of running the business that come along. What is the difference between a rental retirement community and a life plan community?
A life plan community is so unique because it does have all levels for your life planning. We start out with independent living, you have assisted living, memory support, skilled care nursing is there. So your needs are always met if they are ever needed in the future. I know Friendship Village has all 4 levels. We have all 4 levels. Dean, did you want to add to that at all?
Well, I would just say that there's really there's no one community that's better than the other in terms of rental versus life plan. Certainly, we both Nanette and I come from life plan communities and understand the value and the benefit that can bring to folks, but rental communities are popping up more and more these days, especially over the last 5 years. And as the population continues to age, you're going to see more growth in senior housing and more growth of rental properties, which typically are for profit. So there's certainly one difference between that and a life plan community. But ultimately, what it really comes down to what's the best fit for the individual considering a community. And really the best way to figure that out is for folks to go and visit both the types of communities, figure out what's important to them in terms of what their goals and objectives are, both in the short term and long term, and then hopefully the answer comes pretty clearly to them as which is the best option for that individual.
How does somebody go about scheduling a visit?
So we certainly can take calls that come in to our communities specifically, and I'll provide that phone number here in just a moment. However, we're seeing more and more as older adults become more sophisticated and technologically advanced. The website is a great source of information, so a lot of people secure that initial information on the website. They'll call in and secure some additional information or some specific questions maybe they weren't able to find online. And finally, we encourage folks to come in for a personal visit, because that's the best way to learn about a community, is when you can come in and see the community up close and in person, and most importantly, look at the residents that are residing there, because these are perhaps neighbors and friends, and that's the way you feel most comfortable in your new environment, is when you have like-minded individuals that are near to you. So if anyone is interested in securing information on Friendship Village, the telephone number for our sales and marketing office is 847-884-5050, and you can find Friendship Village on the web at www.friendshipvillage.org. And Jeanette can share the information for Greenfields.
Greenfield's phone number is 630-232-9105. And again, we are www.com, Greenfields of Geneva.
Wonderful. So, we talk to a lot of seniors, and it seems like when they make the decision to seek long-term care in any form, they always say, I wish I had done this sooner. So when is the best time to move into a community?
Well, our community is for 65 years and older, and the best time is when you're young and can enjoy all the benefits of living in a community such as ours. You don't want to wait until you can't make the plan for yourself. You want to be able to make the plan and not have an emergency situation where somebody has to hurry and try to find a place for perhaps mom or dad to stay. There's nothing better, and there's no better gift that you can give yourself or your children than to go ahead and make this plan. And to be able to participate in all the social activities. I've had many residents say they wish they would have done it 10 years sooner. So it's important to remember that, and it's important to remember that it is a gift for you and your families.
So when you're thinking about it from a financial standpoint, are there any advantages to starting sooner?
Well, financially, qualifications are easier when you can start and move into independent living versus having to go into a higher level of care. Residents in a planned community, through statistics, are found that they live longer due to the social life environment and just not having to eat by yourself in your house. And nutritionally, you're getting, better meals each day. There's nothing better than to have people around you and just enjoy a whole lifestyle of new family and friends.
Now, I've noticed at mealtime, especially, it's a unique dining experience. You have a choice, right, between sort of a bistro setting and a more traditional setting with the tablecloths. It looks lovely, that bigger cafeteria I know over at Greenfields. It's nice.
Yes, all of our areas of dining are served so that you have a server come up to you and you can order what you prefer. We have our bistro, which is more casual dining, as Kathy had just said, and we have our formal dining area, which is our Savannah dining room for those that want a little more formal look to their dining that evening or late in the afternoon. But the bistro is really a fun place. That's where the casual dining takes place, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's almost like being in college and everybody kind of meeting together.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. We have patios, outside dining as well. You can, we have beautiful terrace deck on our community. But yeah, you have to come and see. They're really lovely.
Something neat about the bistro is where it's situated, people are naturally pass by it from one building to the next, so you kind of feel like there's a hub of activity around you. Yeah.
If I can just add to that, so one of the great things about, and as I referenced earlier, all the different choices that are out there is there really are choices, and you can see that just between the two communities that Friendship Senior Options operates. So at Greenfields, and I give you a little bit of an overview, and while we're both a life plan community and offer the same things, we do it a little differently. Greenfields is I would say, a more intimate community. It's definitely smaller, whereas Friendship Village is the largest retirement community in Illinois, and it's the 17th largest in the country.
Goodness.
So we have 5 different dining venues just in independent living alone, soon to be 6 with our new renovation that's going to be starting after the first of the year. And we'll provide some of the same types of services and venues as Nanette just mentioned at Greenfields, but also some additional things. So again, that's where really for individuals to go out and see the communities firsthand, they have to figure out what's the best fit for them.
And I think that's great because there's, certain individuals who like to have that bigger social setting, and the other ones who might have been maybe loners. And I always call those the previous life because this is where life takes over again, at that point. But those who might have been loners at that time like it that it's a little bit more intimate and downplayed and don't like to have all of the choices, So I think what a great option for no matter what part of the scale you land on,
Right.
Wonderful.
What are some of the things people should consider when they're selecting a retirement community?
Well, the list is pretty extensive, but I would say, first and foremost, they need to sort of do a self-assessment and figure out what's most important to them. What are their goals and objectives? Are they looking for a scenario where they will have a plan in place so that no matter how their needs may change going forward, they know that they'll be set, then they can look at or for a community that's going to be able to provide that opportunity to care for or to provide care for a lifetime. As I referenced earlier, and as Leah just mentioned, just the social opportunities and the dining differences. Some people are definitely more comfortable in a more intimate setting, where others are more social, looking for those opportunities to meet and gather with other individuals and still, become and remain very active. And as I referenced earlier, it's that personality of a community. So as you're investigating different options, you want to find out which community is going to be the one that will most closely resemble my personality that I'm going to feel most comfortable in. And of course, all that has to do with the size of a community, the types of residences, but most importantly, the people that reside in the community, the residents, and even the staff. And we have great staff at both communities, so there I can assure you it's a great opportunity. But the residents will vary from community to community, and that's important to consider and look at.
Do you provide help to prospective seniors when they're looking to move into your community? That move can be such a daunting thing to consider.
Most definitely. I happen to be take the role also as the move-in coordinator, and each community does have a move-in coordinator to help the process of the entire move, which can be overwhelming to a lot of people. I mean, you're packing up a home that you've lived in for many years most of the times, and just the whole thought of it. So I kind of do it in a step-by-step. I have a guidebook that I go through with them, and in this book there are various realtors that their names are provided that we have worked with and found very helpful in the entire transition. We also have a wrap, pack, and move program that we offer to our future residents, where they are given a certain allowance of credit toward the entire move, and that's to help set off some of the financial costs that it can involve, especially if you're moving from out of state. So that's real big. And again, the move-in coordinator can go out to the home, can help and kind of go through the plans with them and see what maybe they should take or leave. And as you move into the community, they will help you with that too. But we do have references of downsizers that will come and pack up for you, and different movers. We don't endorse any one, but we have several that you can choose from and choose on your own. So yes, there is a lot of help for the move.
What are some of the recognitions that your communities have received over the years?
Well, Friendship Village is a CARF accredited community, which is something very important. There are approximately 1,900 life plan communities that are out in the community. And only 15% are out in the United States, I should say, and only 15% of those have this accreditation, which is really a seal of approval from a third party.
Okay.
We were the first community in Illinois to receive that accreditation. Since Greenfields came on board, they were the earliest community ever to receive accreditation. So what that means to prospects who are considering a community is both Greenfields of Geneva and Friendship Village of Schaumburg have to meet over 1,900 different standards that this commission has set forth. And it's a very extensive, time-consuming, and costly endeavor to achieve. But we feel it's worth that effort and the cost, because it does provide some peace of mind to the individuals considering the community. They look at everything from care level to the financial structure and ability and strength of an organization, to the accommodations, the amenities, the services. So it's pretty extensive. In addition to the CARF, which is provided by the Continuing Care Accreditation Commission, both Greenfields of Geneva and Friendship Village were recipients of the Daily Herald Best of Awards. As a matter of fact, we were both communities were just received the best of the best. So we were honored and recognized as the best retirement communities. Thank you.
Quite proud of that.
And both communities also are highly rated from the Centers of Medicare Services with 4 and 5 star ratings for our care found in skilled nursing.
And just to build on that a little bit, I always encourage families to go and look on Medicare.gov and look at those compares, because not knowing, it really helps you decide the ones you may.
It's like that,
finalists.
yeah, accreditation. Accreditation, that's the word. That's something that you would demand. I mean, you would want to have out of a home or a living facility that you would be looking for, right? Sure. A new home, I call it. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, does either facility offer prospective residents a way to kind of try out a community before making a permanent move? Kind of, give it a road test there.
Well, the quick answer to that is yes, we both do. So a little different at both communities. At Friendship Village, we have a trial program. It's a 90-day stay. During the winter months, we call it Weather the Winter. So we're in the midst of that since October 1st hit the calendar not too long ago. So between October 1st and March 31st, we offer that Weather the Winter program. From April 1st until September 30th, we call it the 90-day getaway. But they both operate the same in that residents can move into the community. All they need to bring is themselves and a suitcase. They'll move into a furnished apartment, and they'll have an opportunity during those 90 days to truly immerse themselves into the lifestyle that you can find within the community. And what I'm most proud of is the fact that we have over an 80% retention rate. So the folks who have come in under those programs, 80% of the time decide to stay on a long-term basis. And that's not to say that 20% left dissatisfied. It just means some had to return home to take care of some things before they can make that final preparation for a move. So we're very excited about the trial programs. It has received wonderful support and rave reviews from those that have taken advantage of it. And because of the success we've experienced at Friendship Village, Greenfields of Geneva also offers the same program. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nanette, that's just in assisted living at Greenfields.
Correct,
though.
yes.
So at Friendship Village,
Great.
that program is offered in independent living. At Greenfields of Geneva, that program is offered in assisted living.
So just maybe to some listeners that aren't aware, just a little bit backtracking. When someone's thinking about assisted living and memory care, what's some features of memory care that would make them see that's a better fit for some residents when they move in versus just going into assisted? Because everyone doesn't understand that concept, the memory care.
Well, that's a great question, and one of the things that has really exploded over the last 5 to 7 years really has been assisted living and also memory care and the expanding of those services. Assisted living and memory care are completely different. While you're receiving assistance under both scenarios, general assisted living is going to be more for those individuals that just need more physical help and support because ambulation might be a challenge or maybe just managing their care is a bit comprehensive and difficult, and they need someone to oversee that management. Memory support is something completely different. That's for an individual who has a cognitive impairment, and the programming that you'd find in both an assisted living and a memory support community would be vastly different. Mm-hmm. So you never would want to have an individual who has cognitive impairment in a general assisted living environment, because some of the programming that would be found there, while robust, might be too difficult for someone to really enjoy and be able to comprehend and utilize. So memory support is going to have certainly that 24-hour care and support, but the programming is probably the biggest difference, because the individual that's in need of that care, their needs are quite frankly very different. Mm-hmm.
So what is one piece of advice you might give to those listening today regarding senior housing from your viewpoints?
Well, I would say I've been doing this for 18 years, and the biggest thing I would say is start early. I know we hear from individuals all the time where they're saying, "Well, I want to start, but I don't want to keep calling because I feel like I'm bothering you." And that's our job. Our job is to answer the questions that you might have. This is a really big decision that someone is making, and it's one that is best made with proper planning. So we never, I shouldn't say never, we hate to see when individuals come in because there's a crisis need that's popped up. While we're going to be able to meet the needs of those individuals, it's always better when a plan is put into place and people embrace the move as opposed to being resistant to a move. And the best way to accomplish that is really by starting early. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Just looking at one community, and of course you never just want to do that. You want to look at multiple communities, and you want to keep going back. So the average person, I know, and the statistics are similar at both communities, the average person from the time they first inquire to when they move in is 3 years. So that gives you an idea of how long the process is. So, start the process and the planning early, get information, keep coming back to the communities, keep looking at the communities, keep meeting individuals, attending programs. Again, the more you do that, the more comfortable you're going to be with that final decision, whatever it might be.
Yes, I agree with Dean. We do have several seminars and presentations and just lifestyle events that you can attend and get the feel of what it is to be in a community, and help you make your decision for the future or for at that time. My dad always told me, and I'm going to pass this on to you, that you should never wait for tomorrow because tomorrow never comes. It's always today. So make a plan today.
Awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Agreed.
Thank you so much.
Could you both share your contact information one more time before we run out of time there?
Sure. Our telephone number at Greenfields of Geneva for any appointments or anybody that would just like to come and visit is 630-232-9105.
And for Friendship Village, you can call us at 847-884-5050.
Thank you both so much for coming today.
It's been awesome.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us.